Sip Lakshmi, Sip Leena, Sip Pankaj, Sip Raju, Sip Rajesh, Sip Samatma, Sip Rajan, Sip Ru Mataji, Sip Sudeep, Sip Rekha, Sip Bliko, Sip Girish, Sip Gliko, Sip Parvatiyama, Sip Ansul, Sip Sagai, Sip Bliss, Sip Atmatray, and the rest of you whom I cannot see. Welcome to this evening session of Ask AiR, where the question that we have asked, the administrator is putting it up, and the question is life after enlightenment boring? So we already have Ashok Chotwani who wants to speak, and let us understand from all of you, what do you feel? Let's understand from all of you, how excited are you about this journey, and how much do you find? A lot of people find it boring, a lot of people find it stressful, a lot of people find it challenging. There are different emotions. Some people enjoy this journey a lot. So I want to ask you, is life, what do you think? Do you think that life after enlightenment, is life after enlightenment interesting, exciting, boring? What do you think will life be after enlightenment? So start, Ashok Chotwani. We have Ashok Chotwani, then we have Nichani and Rajesh Rao. Yes, Ashok Chotwani.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Ashok.
Sir, life after enlightenment is not boring, but very peaceful.
How do you say that?
Yeah, a person who have achieved enlightenment becomes a yogi. Always live in Satchit Anand.
Okay.
And an enlightenment person is always in consciousness.
Okay.
He has surrendered himself to God and follow the principle of accept and surrender. Therefore, he is always content.
But are you imagining this, that life is after enlightenment is you're giving a rosy picture, or you feel that this is your personal experience from whatever enlightenment you have received? I want to, because we have to give a real picture.
No, sir, it is. Yeah. Day by day, we are gaining our experience. From experience, I am giving this answer, sir.
Okay, so you're feeling like this.
Yeah, we have experience.
Okay, so let us go on to Ashok Nichani. Ashok Nichani, what do you think? Is life after enlightenment boring?
Sure,
Ashok Chotwani is not giving any hint of that. Ashok Chotwani is saying no, it's a very interesting journey. But I would like to understand from you, Ashok Nichani.
Shivam, Sirji.
Shivam, sir.
Sirji, life is not boring. It's blissful. For a real person who has got enlightenment, his life is blissful. He's detached from all the attachments.
Okay, so just being detached makes you blissful?
Sure, Sirji. He's detached from the outside world. Okay. Now he's changed inside. He is fully inside world.
Okay, but how does that make life not boring, or how does that make life interesting, exciting? We have to try to understand. See, now, are you talking from a point of view of personal experience, Ashok Nichani, or you're imagining, or because you're experiencing it a little bit?
No, Sirji, I'm talking because of examples like Buddha.
Yeah.
And Mother Teresa.
Okay, good. Now I'm happy on your answer. So you're saying, looking at enlightened people, you feel their life is not boring.
Real enlightened people, they are not interested outside world desires. Nothing.
So are they happy? How happy are they, Ashok?
They are very happy, Sirji. They are very peaceful. They are totally in divine, connected to the Lord.
How are you compared to them, Ashok?
I'm nothing in front of them, Sirji.
No. Is your life very exciting, or your life is boring, or how is your life?
My life is blissful at present with the outside world.
So you're blissful in the outside world. So you don't want enlightenment.
I want, but outside world also I'm liking, inside world also I'm in both.
See, this is the problem. You're enjoying the outside world so much, then why would you want enlightenment? Then you don't need enlightenment.
I want that also, Saji, but I want to detach. I'm trying my best to detach from that. But in many points, I'm getting better and better day by day.
See, about today's session, before the session is over, we have to try to realize this. How is life after enlightenment? What is the feeling when we are enlightened? What is the feeling? Is life interesting? Is life boring? I want to reach that point where each of you feels what exactly is life. I would like you all to get a glimpse, and whatever, whether it is from personal experience or like Ashok is saying. So we have got many people today. Let us not waste time. Rajesh Rao. Yes, Rajesh Rao. Very interesting. You all seem to be very interested. I'm very happy to see so many participants. Rajesh Rao.
No, I cannot tell from others' perspective because I wish I could answer that question with my own experience. But then my answer is speculative. So my answer is assumptive. It says that maybe I will feel that लोग मशरूफ हैं अंधेरे की खरीदारी में और हम हाथ में दिया लिए बैठे हैं.
Like, repeat what you said.
लोग मशरूफ हैं अंधेरे के खरीदारी में और हम हाथ में दिया लिए बैठे हैं. That may be the life after enlightenment.
You are right. You are right कि लोग जो हैं, जो enlightenment नहीं पाते हैं, वो एक अंधकार में हैं. And in English, I like the word it says they are ignorant of their ignorance and they believe ignorance is bliss. So how does one reach that state of experiencing the ecstasy of enlightenment? How does one reach that state of overcoming misery? How does one reach that state of nirvana, of ananda? But today you're not talking of boring. One person told me, oh, life is so boring. I can't dance. Another person told me life is so boring. मुझे थोड़ा शराब पीना मजा आता है. थोड़ा शराब झूम बराबर झूम शराबी. I cannot have a drink. Then some people say life is a little boring because we can't go partying, can't go with friends. So I said, who told you can't drink? Who told you can't have party? Who told you that enlightenment means you have to give up all these things? If you give up, it's a different matter. But does it mean that we have a wrong connotation. What is enlightenment and whether it is boring or exciting? Therefore, Rajesh, you want to continue with what you're saying, or you told your shairi and you're done?
I put my point. Maybe after that also I am just sitting and nobody understands me.
No. You please explain it. Just explain one more time. What in English you explain?
I say that maybe even if one is enlightened, it may be very boring for him because maybe others are still in their own world, not related to that person.
But why would it be boring for him? What do you think? An enlightened person is bored or he's very excited?
He may be in a phase where it is not bored, that this world's vocabulary does not work there.
Okay, so good. I'm happy that you have left it with a question mark. Don't let me go. Don't let the call end without me clarifying this to you. Please don't let me go. We have got now Girish, Atmatray, Yogini, Rumataji, Rekha Paroni. Girish.
Enlightenment is end of all suffering.
Very good.
Boredom is a kind of suffering only.
Okay.
So, if a person is bored, he is not enlightened. And if a person says, I am enlightened, then he is not enlightened.
If he's bored, you're saying?
Yes.
Good. But do you think that life, maybe suppose tomorrow you think you're already enlightened? How much, Girish? Out of 100%, are you enlightened? What do you say? How much percent enlightened are you?
I have not realized that I am enlightened.
Okay. And when will you realize whether you are enlightened or not enlightened?
I am trying to realize that I am already enlightened.
So can we take a small deviation? And can anybody give me a quick answer? When do we know that we are enlightened? Who will give a quick answer? When will we know when we are enlightened?
When we can see the truth as it is without any delusions.
Very good.
we are enlightened.
So very simple, Girish. If somebody wants to ask the question, how do I
When
know
we
I'm
have अनुभूति
गुरुजी अप्रोक्ष अनुभूति हो जाती है.
हाँ माता जी, लेकिन वो कैसे होती है माता जी? How do you define that in words?
we have to see sip in all.
Okay, and therefore, before you see sip in all, what is the first step to see sip in all?
We have to realize self-realization.
And what is that? And how do you realize that?
That I'm not the body, mind, and ego. I'm the divine.
We always give the example. How do you know that you have switched on the? How do you know that you have switched on the light in the room? How do you know you have switched on the light in the room? Anybody? How do you know you switched on the light in the room?
We can see.
The spark will come, sir.
So you enter the room. You press the first button, it's dark. You press the second button, it's dark. You press the third button, the light comes on. So what do you understand? Which button?
Disappears. Darkness disappears.
Correct. So what is enlightenment?
Darkness to
Ignorance is gone.
How do you know? How do you know?
I am SIP.
How do you know that? Anybody?
Maybe I realize I am SIP.
No. How do you know that, my dear friends? I have to give you a practical answer. How do you know that you are SIP? So would you like to remember it? Can I give you the line?
Say something, Guruji.
Siddharth, you are the guru of the session. Bataiye.
No, not at all. You know, because you actually enjoy the, you live in bliss. You have the feel of peace in your entire vyavahara.
Okay, I love poems.
Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, that explains it all.
So you're right. Shivoham is a good egg. So we love poetry, and in the AiR, Air Instead of Realization, we love rhymes, and we love poems. So it is this. When I can see that I am not the body, nor the mind and ego, me, and I am free, then I'm enlightened. When am I enlightened? When I can see that I am not the body, not the mind and ego, me, and I am free. The problem is, if we are not free, we are not enlightened. If we cannot see that we are not the body, mind, and ego. That's what's neti tattvamasi. Neti tat. You cannot have tattvamasi. Tattvamasi cannot happen without neti. It is through negation. According to Advaita, it is through negation only that you can attain the realization. So, my dear friends, I quickly took this deviation. So when a person reaches that state of enlightenment, when he can see that he is not the body or the mind and ego, me, and he is free, then is life boring? That's the question, Atmatray.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam.
I want to tell that in worldly love, it looks like a very interesting.
Worldly love, of course.
But
of course.
But the God's love, the love of Hakiki, is so interesting, and it is above expectation. That's it will be after enlightenment. It will be not boring.
But then why do some people think it is boring? Girish gave a good answer. I remember Girish tried to say something, but you tell me, why do some people think that life after enlightenment is boring?
They not experiencing that the experience of love Hakiki.
Good.
They are not.
Because they are not experiencing enlightenment and the ananda that comes from enlightenment. They are presuming. They are presuming that life will be boring.
Right.
Just now, somebody told me just a few minutes back before this call, oh, it is so boring. I can't go clubbing and dancing and partying. So I said, but who stops you from going clubbing and partying? No, I'm seeking enlightenment. So I said, who told you you're seeking enlightenment? You cannot do these things. No, why you don't do? They asked me, why you don't do? I said, because I attained nirvana in silence. I attained nirvana in the presence of the divine. I'm in a state of ananda. How do you get to that state of ananda? You know, it's not, my dear friends, it is not easy to be free from the suffering of the body, mind, and ego. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, the amount you suffer. You know, just today, about 2-3 hours back, I got a notice from Karnataka Sarkara. And that notice was in the local language, in Kannada. Normally, if I was not in that state of realization, I would become impatient. What is that Karnataka Sarkara? What is that Karnataka Sarkara? What is that notice? What is that notice? What is that notice? But the person who is realization or who is enlightened with the truth says, "Jo bhi hoga, hoga na. Jo bhi hoga, hoga." The person doesn't get affected by the petty annoyances of this world. I'm not saying that you can be out of all. Even an enlightened person is main fasa, main khud mein fasa. Even an enlightened person has got some amount of challenge. I'm telling you that. Don't think an enlightened person, because you're still living in the body and the mind and ego, still exists. But we are not yet touched the tip of this question. Is life after enlightenment boring? How many of you are scared? After enlightenment, very boring. Like, look at AiR, only white shirt. At least look at Chidanand, pink and blue. And if I look at so many of you, Yogini is wearing one denim kurti, Ashok Chotwani is wearing check shirt, and Rajesh is wearing bright blue. All of you are enjoying, and AiR is very boring.
Only pleasures, sir. Only pleasures.
No, because for a person who has realized the truth, how does it matter what you wear? How does it hardly matters? What matters is how you feel. Are you in that state of nirvana? Are you in that state of, see, you know, a person who has realized the truth or is enlightened, he is able to return to a state of bliss and peace much faster. A person who is not enlightened can suffer a lot. It is not easy to snap back. But a person who has got some knowledge of enlightenment or realization or some wisdom of the subject, it is very easy to come back to consciousness, come back to yoga, come back to peace, come back to happiness. But other people it's very difficult. So let me see, I'm still looking for some answers. Yogini and Rumataji. Yogi and Rekha Parvani. Yogini?
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Yogini.
Yeah. So if life after enlightenment is boring or not, I have a choice whether I want to be still in the man mithya dukkha or always be in state of consciousness. Because after enlightenment, so I will know what is state of consciousness, how to be in state of consciousness. So I wouldn't want to go back into the samsara. I would always prefer to be in the state of consciousness all the time. Even if some dukkha is there, as you have said, it is quick to come back.
Yeah. So was it Ashok Nichani who gave the first analysis? I think I'm inspired by one of what he said. Why would the Buddha, why would he give up his kingdom? And why would he chuck everything and take up the path of nirvana? Either he was mad, either he was very crazy, or he found that life was far more blissful, peaceful. The question is, how is life after enlightenment? Is it boring? Is it exciting? Is it happy? Is it unhappy? So we are trying to get, before the end of this call, I hope we will get a proper spark. Luckily we used this session to define what is enlightenment. And I will ask you before the end of the session today, what is enlightenment? I hope some of you will tell me. But is life after that realization, that enlightenment, is it boring? Or is it not boring? Rumataji and Rekha Parvani. Rumataji.
Now, 1 minute. Can I ask you to tell
Yes.
us how your life is after enlightenment? Can you share that with us?
Thank you. I'll share with you. I have nothing to hide from you. So let me tell you, since you're asking, I'll take 2 or 3 minutes. I was like a madman. I was running after pleasures. I used to have a 6-door limousine. I had a Mercedes Benz. I had a Toyota Serra. I was running after all the pleasures of this world. I was a crazy guy, and I was a hot shot. I mean, I was people knew this guy. You know, in Bangalore, if I would go to a restaurant, I would get the respect of a chief minister of Karnataka. Like that, I was known, and everybody in Bangalore. If I entered the police commissioner's office, I could walk into the commissioner's office. I could walk into any minister's office. But then I found I was going to go from a big business to a still bigger business. And then I found that my life was just like running a mad race. I was just running and running and running. 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, I was like a machine. And while I was not unhappy, but I was not getting that fulfillment. I was getting achievement. I was getting pleasure. I used to go and wear blue suit and green suit and pink suit. My interview in BBC, I'm wearing a pink suit, a bright pink. Even girls will be shy to wear that pink color. I'm wearing a pink suit in BBC interview. My dear friends, why did I give it up? Why did I give up that life? Because I found that life is not taking me anywhere. It was a meaningless existence. So that is what I want to share with you all. What is life? Why are we alive? Just today I did a recording. You know, I said we all know. Today we'll say, who's our prime minister? We know. Who's our president? We know. Who's UK prime minister? Some new lady has come trust. We know. Who's the president of America? We know. Who's Zelensky in Ukraine? We know. Putin in Russia? We know. We know who's the world's best cricketer, who's the world's best golfer, who's the astronomer, who's the scientist. We know who's the richest man, whether it's Ambani or Adani. We know. But we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. So, Yogini, my life was not a bad life, but I felt like a useless machine of meaningless existence. And that was because thanks to my guru made me, he asked me, I told you one day I went to my guru and I showed him beautiful pictures of penguins jumping in Antarctica. I don't know how many of you have been to Antarctica. It is the remote 7th continent of this world. I went to Antarctica and I took beautiful photographs of penguins. It was amazing. And when I went to my guru and I showed him, he said, where else you went? I told I went to Finland and Greenland and Iceland and New Zealand. And he said, so you will keep on going from land to land to land to land and die? I woke up. Like we get up from a deep sleep. You know, 99% of this world, they are in a deep sleep, Yogini. And when I woke up, it took me some time. It took me about a year's time to get the realization. But then it is Ananda, and then I cannot explain to you how beautiful and how blissful it is. It is too beautiful. It is too blissful. Okay, Yogini, I hope I answered the question. So, you have anything more to ask?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So it is, so if you ask me, life after enlightenment is not boring. It is very fulfilling. It is very peaceful. It is very blissful. It is without any misery, no pain of the body, misery of the mind. You know, did I tell you last few months back, I thought my muscles were dying, my hand muscles. I could not lift a bag. Did I tell you all? I could not even lift a glass. I could not lift a glass, my right hand. And I went and asked the doctor, could it be muscular dystrophy? The doctor laughed. Muscular dystrophy is a disease where your muscles are dying. I told him, because I don't know. And then he told, no, just he did a vitamin test and he gave me vitamins for 1.5 to 2 months and my complete pain has disappeared. But it is realization that I'm not the body that did not let me live in fear. We are so worried. We create toxins. We create toxins. When we have no enlightenment, either we become sick with what we eat or we become sick with what is eating us. There are two major reasons of falling sick. One is what we eat and second is what is eating us. But when you're in enlightenment, you are free from both. You are quite liberated. Thank you. Rumata ji and Rekha. Rumata ji.
प्रणाम गुरुजी.
नमस्कार
गुरुजी आपका भजन याद आ रहा है. शांति से मिला क्या हसी आनंद, सत के चित में मिला सच्चिदानंद, शांति से मिला. So it is like that. I feel like that.
You are right, Rumata ji. You know what happens? People who are running this race, you know, it's very sad. One of my friends, in fact, not one, two, three of my friends recently, they have been put in jail. They have been put in jail for some reason. Now, I don't, not one, I'm telling 2, 3. Now, whether it's their fault or not their fault is a different matter. But they are shattered. They are shattered because this samsara is like this. If you are in this samsara and you're running behind this samsara, you're sure to be shattered. Either you will lose your money, or you will lose your peace, or you will lose your heart, or you will lose your health. Something you are sure to lose. But in a state of enlightenment, you are liberated. You are free. It's not easy. But yes, Toru Mataji, what bhajan you sang is so beautiful. Huh? Shanti mein hai jo जीवन जीता, सच का चित करता, वो आनंद पाता, शांति में ही तो एहसास ये होता, प्रभु है अंदर महसूस ये होता, शांति में ही तो प्रभु है मिलता, दिल की जो आवाज शांति में सुनना. Oh, this Ananda, where will you get? कहाँ मिलेगा ये आनंद?
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Rumata ji. Rekha Parwani.
Beautiful. Guruji, beautiful.
नमस्कार.
आनंद ही आनंद है.
ये आनंद जो है ये संसार में नहीं मिलता है. संसार के लोग जो हैं वो बेफजूल चीजों पे भागते हैं. जैसे राजेश ने एक शायरी कहा, I think it is part of that. ये संसार के लोग they are probably, I don't know what he, Rajesh, please remember, repeat that, Rajesh. What did you say? I like your shairis.
लोग मशरूफ है अंधेरे की खरीदारी में और हम हाथ में दिया लिए यूं ही बैठे हैं.
हाँ, लोग मशरूफ है
अंधेरे की खरीदारी में.
अंधेरे की खरीदारी में. People are busy in buying the darkness. People are drinking. People are drinking misery. People are drinking misery, my dear friends. और हम आराम से वो दिया लेके बैठे हैं. और जिस दिया में, जिस enlightenment के दिया में राजेश पता है क्या बोलते हैं? बोलते हैं असतो मा सतगमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतम गमया. So Rajesh, I love, Rajesh gave us that day one quote. I translated to English and I sent to all of you. मुर्शिद नहीं वो जो सिर्फ मंजिल दिखाए. हाँ, मुर्शिद वो जो है मुर्शिद वो जो मंजिल तक पहुंचाए, ना सिर्फ वो कि वो रास्ता दिखाए. Am I right, Rajesh?
मुर्शिद तो वो है जो असुदाई मंजिल दिखा दे, वरना रास्ता दिखाने वाले तो बहुत है बोला.
Okay, come on, Rekha Parwani. Thank you. I like Rajesh is adding to this call. Thank you, Rajesh. Rekha Parwani.
Shivam, AiR.
Shivoham.
For me, enlightenment can never be boring because I have experienced the body, mind, and ego, and these everyday challenge like war within, and I'm seeing the suffering, lots of suffering also, because if we are going to live in this myth, we will suffer. So there is no pleasure in this world.
But don't you feel sometimes, don't you get scared? This enlightenment journey may become very boring. Some of you
No.
don't think like that. Some of you are not
No,
scared.
never, AiR. Never. In fact, life was very miserable before we knew that we were in this path.
This is a good point Rekha is bringing.
Very
Those
miserable.
of you who have moved forward in the journey of enlightenment will already find the change. That life was so useless. Life was so miserable. I mean, life all the time. Now you are not in that state. Now you are much better. At least you know to deal with problems. You know to deal with circumstances. You can talk to God whenever you want to talk to God.
Yes.
But I'm still waiting for some of you to challenge me and to question me about how life is boring. None of you are giving me a challenging question.
It's not boring. It's not boring.
Okay. Bliko, do you have something challenging, Bliko?
Shivoham, there is nothing challenging, because when you are in the path, you are experiencing the glimpse of that happiness and the fulfillment and what you can say, bliss. So you know that the enlightenment, after enlightenment, it is totally bliss and total joy, and you transcend all the sufferings and you enjoy the life. Because when you are enlightened, you are awakened. You are awakened and you see all this is a dream. So the person who is in the dream and knowing that he is awake and he knows this is a dream, he has no problem with any of the event, whether it is good or bad or in between. So he is always content, because he thinks that he is instrument of God and he is the part of divine, and he enjoy the bliss, and he has no complaint, no question, no query, nothing, because he enjoy only.
You know, Bliko, somebody called me in the morning. Somebody called me and said, I'm very disturbed. I said, what happened? They said, I had a very bad dream. So I told them it is only a dream. Yeah, but it's a very bad dream. It's a very bad dream. So I said, so what about it's a very bad dream? It's only a dream. Yeah, but it's a very bad dream. And the enlightened person, even a very bad reality becomes nothing but a dream.
Dream, correct.
A very bad reality, when something so bad is happening in front of them, the enlightened person can deal with it. The person in front may not be enlightened and they may not be able to be at the same frequency, but the enlightened person is able to deal. The enlightened person is able to bypass. So therefore,
because when you are on the path, you find the glimpse. With that glimpse, you can infer that when you are fully enlightened, these all things becomes no matter. Like your basement of your mole is flooded, or maybe earthquake and entire mole goes into the ground. What makes a difference to you?
Exactly. But that will not make a difference to me. But will it make a person, if I was not and realize the truth, I would be shattered.
No, then you will cry. Yeah. You will get heart attack maybe.
So the enlightened person doesn't cry. The enlightened person doesn't question why. The enlightened person doesn't ask God why. The enlightened person lives in acceptance, lives in surrender. He sometimes is sad. He may feel sad. He may feel a little sad being in the body-mind complex, but he's able to deal with it. He's not defeated by the circumstances. Yes, Rekha?
Because you are enlightened, and you sorted the problem very easily with your intellect. If otherwise we panic and we don't have a solution, we just cry.
See, as I told you all, don't think enlightenment, many people make it look like enlightenment is an impossible subject. You are all enlightened, but you are all enlightened to different levels. I made you understand that, for example, let me give you an analogy. Let me give you a quick analogy. You all have entered a huge palace. You all have entered a huge palace, and some of you have switched on the light of the entrance so you can see. Some of you can see the bedroom. Some of you can see the sofa. Some of you can see the main hall. But that full enlightenment, Girish, I was trying to explain to you, is when you can see everything. Some of you have reached that situation that you are enlightened, I am not the body. Some of you are enlightened that I'm not the mind. For example, we cry when we see somebody die. Why do we cry when we see somebody die? Because we think that person is dead. But the person is not dead. The person has just moved from one body to another body. The person has not died. We are thinking the person is dead. No. The enlightened person knows that death is just like a sunset somewhere and it's a sunrise somewhere else. So the enlightenment is that. So it's very important for us to understand that enlightenment would happen when ting tong, ting 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 ting, when all the lights come on and the entire picture is seen. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the ego. And then you realize I am the soul. And then I don't, you remember the bhajan I sang yesterday or day before? Today I was recording that bhajan. What I recorded? I said, Madhu mein bhi Prabhu hai, मक्खी में भी प्रभु, मधुमक्खी प्रभु है, पंछी में भी प्रभु, बादल में प्रभु है, आसमां में प्रभु, धरती ये प्रभु है, समुंदर भी प्रभु, मच्छर में भी प्रभु है, हर इंसान में प्रभु. This I wrote this bhajan when one machhar was biting me. 2 days back, when Machar was sitting here and doing, and when the Machar was looking at it, I looked at that Machar and I said, Namaskar, Namaste, Namaste. And I said, Namaste. Because this is what is the joy of enlightenment. But I could not write the bhajan starting ke Machar mein bhi Prabhu hai. So I brought the Machar word much later because people think of Machar as a negative thing, but there's nothing negative in this world. Everything is a leela, and you start enjoying the leela. Everything is good. The people who are not enlightened, they sink in misery. They become miserable, my dear friends, and they sink and they sink and they sink, and they can't come out of it. They go into depression. They have suicidal thoughts, and all this is a big problem because you can't get out of it. Because you are not enlightened with the truth. Okay, last 1 or 2 minutes. Anybody wants to say? So 2-3 things. One, life after enlightenment. I'm happy none of you is scared about it. Life after enlightenment is not boring because you can do anything. You can eat anything, drink anything, wear anything, go anywhere. You will change on your own. Nobody will change you. Nobody has changed me. Nobody has told me, do this, don't do this. No, I can eat what I want, drink what I want, go with whom I want, where I want, do what I want. Nothing stops me. But I do what I realize is right. And I want to talk 30 seconds on bliss before this call is over. So I'll ask Bliss to explain what she sent me a beautiful video. But anybody else wants to say anything? Okay, so I will cut this. Yes, Girish.
Will there be perception of duality after enlightenment?
What duality?
Subject, object.
No.
Me, you.
See, let me tell you one thing. You will always be in the body-mind complex, but you will see the divine in one and all. Not only like, for example, you will see your beloved as the divine. That is one. You will see the divine sip in everybody. And even the shaitan will look like Bhagwan. Even the shaitan. This is a big challenge, Girish, because sometimes there's a shaitan. Huh? What do you do with the shaitan? Enlightenment makes the shaitan into a Bhagwan. And there's no duality because shaitan, Bhagwan, both are one. Okay, so I want to talk something very interesting with my dear Bliss. So we had a session, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, on Possimum and Soul. So Bliss went to her house and she made a recording, a beautiful recording. What did she record? She took a Bluetooth speaker. You know, a Bluetooth, you get this Bluetooth, these towers. And then she switched on the Bluetooth tower and din ta-ta, music and playing. And she said, now I understand that as long as the power is not in this Bluetooth speaker, it is Possimum. And when the power comes on into the Bluetooth speaker, it became SIP. It became the soul. Soul came into the energy of, am I right, Bliss? This is what you tried to explain? But I was so happy.
Exactly. It was like, I want them to show it's what this.
Yeah, play it now. See what she's. So now she said, this is Possimum. This is Possimum.
It's only plastic and tissue. And when I'm open, it's like that's a
play.
And now it's become like.
So what she said, Bliss said, when I switched on the power came into the speaker. Yeah. The same Possimum got empowered. And the beautiful, I thought this analogy was a beautiful analogy of how the soul leaves the body. When the soul leaves the body, what is left is this plastic, this speaker. And so it's a good analogy. I thought I must share. She took the trouble of. So Bliss is one of the very keen seekers of enlightenment, and it will not go waste, my dear friends. Every session.
Because I'm not able always to explain my thoughts.
No, you are good. You are very good. Don't worry. You are very good.
I tried so much to explain.
Okay. Your smile itself, your smile and your laughter reveals it all. That you are so blissful, that you are so peaceful. And that is only possible when you have the blessings of the divine and you are enlightened with the truth. My dear friends, thank you for the session. Tomorrow we will meet again at 8. I fold my hands and bow down to you.